So now with tables, I'd like to show you how to edit and add a little bit more, let's say, pizzazz to your table. So what you want to do, you can click anywhere in here, doesn't matter where, just as long as it's activating. You can go to Table, Table Options, Table Setup. And then in here you have a lot of control. So in here, it's going to give you your body rows and columns so you can add or take away from there, which we've already learned how to do a different way, but here's another way. Now table border, we can also do that, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then table spacing, before or after, what that means is that if you have type on either side, above or below your table, then you can add that spacing in. Right now, again, I don't really have any type, but if you did, that's how you would play with it to figure out what kind of cushion you'd want. So with this, what we can do, we can change that, and you can already see I'm on preview, so you can see that change. Now, if you want to, you can have this on none, and you can see that how those go away already. But you can also change it over here too. So I'll go to blue, and then we can play around with these two. So obviously that looks more like a crappy coupon, so you might want to stay away from that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to push none. So another one I'd like to show you is fills. And let's say we want to go every other row. And you can see how, still splitting up the cells, it treats a little bit differently. But overall, you can see how it's alternating towards every other one. Obviously, we have a gray, 20% black, but we can always change it around. So maybe you want that. Maybe let's try 60%. And see what it looks like. And you can work with that too. That's getting a little too crazy and colorful for me. So let's go to none over here. But you always have these options. You can custom row, so maybe there's one row you'd like to highlight, one type of column you like to highlight. Every second row. It's really up to you, and again, you can custom column and specify that as well. So let's just keep with every other row. Alright, so let's change that back to blue. And I'll keep that at 35%. Again, have fun with it. Feel free to change it. Now let's go to row strokes. And you have to be a little bit tricky about this. You'll want to do every other row. And by doing that, it highlights both the sections. So this way you can edit. If you want to get rid of them, get rid of the stroke, or if you want to do something different, you can do that. Again, all these special characters that you can do. But what I actually want to do, I just want to get rid of them. For right now. I'm looking for a very clean feel when we're done. Again, feel free to go crazy, experiment, but figure out, again, what reads well with your chart. Okay? And then we can go, let me just put none there, just to be safe. And then column strokes. And then with this, I still want something to separate the information a little bit more. So I'm going to do every other column. And with this, I'm going to do, there we go, I'm going to do paper. Because again, that's really white. And then also, I want to make sure these weights are the same size too. So there we go, that works out. Again, it looks a little funky because I split up the cells, but you get the general idea of what we're going for. So let's say this is a header and that you wish this could be brought onto your other page. So this way we can still read the columns, we understand all the information without having to glance back to here. So what you can do you can select that and then get the black arrow, highlight it all. You can come up to table, convert rows to header, and you can see now that they're both on the top, so this way we can read it easily. And even if this table was 50 pages long, it would still be able to read as long as we did that function. So if we come here, now we can see that it became a header and much cleaner and easier to read. So now I want to do some editing to really make this table start to look good. And one way we can do that is working with the header and really cleaning that up. So again, what you can do if you were doing one cell, or again, this is header, so we'll carry over, then you can highlight that. But because we want to work with the whole header that will also transfer over to here, all you want to do is make sure you get that black arrow. And then we can start working with the type. So let's see here. We can go to Avenir. Maybe 8 points. Let's mess around with that a little bit. We can center it if we want to. And then what we can do, we can come over to swatches if we wanted to change the color. And so even though that's bright green, it's just the opposite. So if we come over, it's really pink. Obviously, that is not a good match. But once we get it highlighted again, we can come over and work with the blue. So I'm just going to keep it there. But now the type isn't so readable. So what I'm going to do, there we go, highlight that row. Make sure I'm hitting on the T right here again, just affecting the type, no longer the color. And I want to change this to paper. And much more readable. So I still want to work with the header and really clean that up. I want to take out these lines for these columns and try to get rid of that black line. It might be hard to see, but there is a black line there. So again, I want to select this row and I want to come up to this guy. And again, he'll only come up if the materials are selected down here. So what this does, this represents the stroke. So this and over here is attached, and you can see I had blue as a fill color and as a question mark for the strokes because I have a black stroke and then I have none for the other sides. So this line up here represents the upmost stroke, this at the bottom, and only the selection. So this does not represent the table, it just represents the selection, which is right now the header. This is the right and this is the left. So if you click on these, you can highlight and you can set these to none if you want to. So you can see there was some sort of change there that happened. And if you set the middle ones, you can set those to none as well. So if we come back down here, everything we've had disappeared. So these are sort of where I like them now. And, you know, these are a little too floating for me, but I like the space that it has. So what I would do is probably come and just mess around with these right here. So let's move this down. Again, you might want to get in there, really just go point by point there, but I think that looks a little bit better. So I'd also like to now edit loans because again, that's more of a header that's separating the information. So what we can do here, once we're on the text, we could, highlight it. We could highlight it in black. Another way you can do that is hitting the escape key. So if you hit the escape key, it will highlight everything. If you hit the escape key again, it will just go back to the loans. So that's sort of a shortcut for you. Again, hitting it again highlights all the merged cell. Hitting escape just highlights the point. So I want to do that, and then I want to go over to my swatches, just what I did the other one, and let's match it up. and then we'll go over again to this formatting on type, and we'll make a paper. And so again, if I come over to swatches, I could just hit the blue. Of course, it's gold because it's in reverse. And then I could hit escape again. And then let's make that paper. And we can go up here and we can work with the same one we did over here. And I'm just going to use my eyedropper tool and pick it up there. Maybe I don't want it that small. Maybe I do want a little bit bigger for a nice break. So I'm going to come back and change it a bit. And it disappeared, and that's just because of the size right now. But I'm also going to come and change my cell size. Or maybe make that a little bit bigger. And then with loans, you can have it like this as well. And there I go. So again, making another separation. Let's say I did want to change this a little bit and have a little bit more options. You can also come up to Table, Cell Options, and Text. And you can work with this more, and you can break the link. And if you come to Text Options and break the link, you can edit each of these. So maybe I want it indented. You can move it like that too to get precisely what you need. You can also align center, align bottom. Slight changes right now, but these can make a big difference later on. Justify vertically. And you have more options than that. But that's just something for you to really get in there, edit, and move. So I just went in here and I cleaned this up a little bit, making the type a little bit more friendlier to read. So all I did for that is, again, just click, holding down Shift, and then I went up here and I changed the font. And again, remember, if you hold down Shift, you can make certain columns longer if you want to, because again, the numbers really don't need to be that big. Again, that's going to mess with your header, so you want to be careful about that. So maybe not the prettiest chart in the world, but it is starting to work. It's starting to get cleaned up. It's an easy way to have all your information lined up correctly. And the last thing I'd like to show you about this table review is how to insert an image into the table if you're interested in doing that.